You talked about starting stand-up. I remember in a video you were talking to Cody and saying something like, I was drawn to stand-up at like 12, 13 years old.
Yeah.
Who were the stand-ups? What drew you to it? And then what took you so long to get into it?
So, funny story about that. I would actually just watch like a ton of like Comic View, and then Comedy Central just had like the 10-minute sets that they would run.
Filipinos love Comic View, dude. You and Joe Coy. Fuck.
It was just what was on.
Yeah.
You know? Who says I'm Filipino, though?
All right.
No,
All right,
anyway.
my bad. Let's move on.
No, you're all right. I would just watch a lot of that. But so I remember watching a set on Comic View, and I remember it being one of the more, like, this comic was like, his face was more animated than like a lot of other comics.
Who?
So, but for years, I couldn't remember. I just knew like his face. I knew his behavior. So the guy who broke me to stand up, he goes, hey man, meet me down in Inglewood. I'm gonna introduce you to a friend. He's putting on a show. And he takes me to a club called the J Spot. I don't know.
I know the J Spot. Yeah.
So I go to the J Spot, and I'm watching this guy, and I'm like, man, that face. I know the face. We get off stage. Comedy OG's like, hey, this is Eric Blake. I say, Eric Blake, you have a set on Comic View about like stuffing some drugs in like, you know, you ate them before the cop, and I'm describing the bit. He just looks at me, he goes, how old are you? I say, man, I'm 23. He's like, we some old motherfuckers, bro. Yeah, so Eric Blake. And he was nice enough to let me open one time. He's from South Central, so like sometimes this crowd's gonna be tougher.
Is he a brolic guy, Eric Blake?
Yeah, he's tall. Yeah,
I think I remember that guy.
And so he let me open one time. I ate it so bad, dude. I ate it so bad. I got off stage. I'm like, man, it's probably because, you know, like, maybe I shouldn't have opened on some sex jokes. And my comedy OG's just busted me. He's like, you thought it was the sex jokes that made you not funny? He's like, nah, man, you just ate it up there. I'm like, all right, yeah, no, you got it. Yeah. So, yeah, but a lot of Comic View. And then I got a little bit, like, in high school, a friend's older brother for my birthday, he bought me Killing Him Softly and then one of the rock specials.
Yeah. Do you remember which rock special?
It like the cover was like, it looked like he's like in a white suit. It looked like damn it. I was like going through the specials recently because of the new one. And I'm like, what fucking special
If he's
was
holding
it?
the gold mic, that's a bigger and blacker.
Bigger and
The
black.
white suit might be Bring the Pain Mike.
I think it's Bring the Pain.
Okay.
Yeah. And so whenever like I get in trouble, my parents would take my computer away.
Yeah.
I would just sit on this like TV on the ground and I just watch those specials just like on loop.
Amazing.
Yeah, just both of those are just fucking incredible.
Yeah.
Would you drop a special?
Yeah, so the set I've been working on it almost like 2 years now, so I think we'll put it out. I'm like scared as fuck though.
That's the thing. That's why I was wondering why you haven't put stand-up out.
Yeah.
Are you a little bit scared?
I am, but I haven't put out any clips because I think clips are kind of deceiving in that, yeah, it's like it'll help your career and it'll help you grow and you can get better like through watching your own clips and all that, but I guess for me personally, I kind of just wanted to focus on it for like a year and change, like just getting back to it and just being good, like just being comfortable.
Smart.
And not worrying about the content of it, because I think naturally, like when you're being filmed, you're just gonna be different.
Yeah.
So I kind of looked at it more like, what am I actually trying to do up here? Just make it like personal discovery shit.
I think it's a really good observation you're making about the clips in general, which is like, what we would do is we'd film every single show on the road. And when we were in the comedy clubs, we're doing 5 shows, 6 shows, and sometimes we get nothing.
Yeah.
That's 6 hours.
Yeah.
And there's just nothing. And that's okay.
Yeah.
And eventually the cameras just kind of exist there, but you forget about them because you're not going, I need to get this right. It's almost like, I remember like my least favorite time in comedy was when I'd be like preparing a late night set. There's a time early in comedy where I was like, oh, I should audition for late night. Let me get my 5 minutes. And it's just brutal.
Yeah.
It sucks.
Because you're not going up there enjoying the jokes. You're going up there and like, okay, I can't address anything happening in the room.
Yeah.
I have to start on this. A pop falls. You know what I mean? You're not being in the moment at all. So I think that's right that you're just like focused on like grinding it out and like getting great, you know, making sure the bits are strong. I think that's the right decision. And then when it's right, you know, put it out, obviously.
That's kind of how I feel. So I've been filming every theater show.
Just so you can watch it. You can.
Yeah, and then just have it. And so like that little clip I put in that vlog was like the first one where I said, all right, like I'll just sprinkle it in. Like, just like have a little bit. And
It's a good clip in that, and Andrew kind of alluded to this. It showed me you were a real comic because someone just yells out some shit. You're not throwing it all. You talk to him, you respond to him, and then you have funny. And I'm like, oh, that's a guy that has worked on the muscle.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Because
Yeah.
I think most people come from who are like YouTubers trying to do it or whatever. They're not going to know as well what to do. They might learn.
Yeah.
But for you, I was like, oh, he's been doing it. He's a stand-up.
It's also scary though to like release something that you identify as. Like you don't identify as like a podcaster or a reaction video guy.
No.
You probably identify as a stand-up comedian.
It's what I care about the most.
Exactly. So like that's the thing you're gonna hold closest. Where it's like, all right, if this reaction doesn't go that well, you're like, well, yeah, I don't do that. I do this other shit.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, you know, I don't want anyone to feel like that. Like watches me on the internet. Like, but I've been pretty vocal about it. Like they know that. And they come see me live and they know like, oh yeah, stand-up is definitely like his like first love.
Yeah.
Like the rest of this is cool, but like that's definitely like his best weapon, so to speak. So
is there any anxiety with having a pre-existing audience and then introducing this new type of content? Like
no, because in some ways I think that's actually kind of like when I do those weekends in like Kansas City and it's 5 shows, sometimes that actually creates like some of the hardest crowds because sometimes you get a crowd that's like all 20 years old. They know me from the internet. They actually don't give a shit about stand-up. And so like not only am I trying to convince them to like get into the show, they may not even like stand-up. Like they may find out in that moment where they're like, I don't really care for this like format. Like, this shit's kind of corny. You know?
Right. Think about being 20. Your whole life, you've just been able to swipe up whenever you don't like something.
Yeah.
We at least grew up with TV. I got to sit a half hour.
Yeah.
So sitting through a 1 hour show that I don't love is not that bad. But they're like, bro, you're going to do an hour and I can't swipe up on you?
Yeah.
What is that?
yeah.
But I mean,
Last point.
Yeah, it's brutal.